Hi, this is Arcusmade, and in this Raid Shadow Legends video, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming 2x event and the Halloween Fragment Collector event. So starting Friday, the 23rd of October, there's going to be a double chance on Ancient Shards to pull Legendary and Epic Champions. There's quite a few people in the Raid community that are deciding whether or not they should pull now or hold off and wait for the upcoming Halloween Fragment Collector. After quickly looking at the champion, I don't think he's particularly worth it. You do have the chance of getting that guaranteed legendary if you wait, but if you're brand new to the game, I think you're probably better off pulling now, because in order to get the fragments, you need 100 in total, and a lot of them will be locked behind events such as spiders, dragons, fire knights, etc. And if you're not able to farm those levels comfortably, then you're going to be spending so much in energy and gems or just real world money in order to obtain those fragments. And then it just isn't worth it. Whereas if you just pull now instead of waiting, then you have a 16% chance for an epic. And to be honest, some of the current epics in the game, they look much better and much more useful than the upcoming Halloween guy. And you also have that massive 1% chance of pulling a legendary. So if you're brand new and you don't particularly need this legendary, I think the 2x event is for you and you should definitely pull. If you've been playing for a while and you can do all these levels comfortably anyway, then you're probably in a position where you can do both the 2x event and the upcoming fragment event. Because if it's like the previous ones, pulling sacred shards are going to give you 500 points, and so just pulling a few of those are going to unlock the fragments you need anyway. So I will definitely be pulling some of my ancients on this account, and I will definitely be pulling my ancient shards on my free-to-play account, and even using some of my gems to purchase the 11 shard pack in the shop. Where is it? Yeah, I'll be spending the 900 gems to get the big shard pack for sure. Because even if you decide that you want to wait, it could be another month or so. And if you're brand new to the game, that's almost like a month of postponing your potential progress. So I don't think it's worth waiting for the fragment event itself. You should definitely pull. I think it's slightly different from what some of the others are saying. But yeah, if you're new and you need good champions, this is the best time in the game to actually pull. If you've been playing for a while and you don't need any particular champion, then perhaps you should wait and get that guaranteed legendary. Alright, so now I'm just going to have a quick look at the new champions that they're introducing into the game. Okay, let's have a look at these champions. So the first of the new Halloween champions is Elegias. This is going to be the champion you can pick up from the Fragment Collector event that is happening for Halloween. So on his A1, is 25% chance of placing block cooldown debuff. This is pretty good. I imagine with books the chance will be higher, and it works quite well with his passive. As you can see here, the chance increases by 0.75% for every 1% of HP lost. And his passive prevents the champion's death and keeps him alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. So that would be about 99%, I would say. And I think that works out at almost an additional 25% chance. So it works out about 50%, and maybe with books 60% to place a block cooldown skill debuff. Then on his A2, attacks enemy one time, puts the target skills on cooldown. Okay, so not really needed for the A1, although it's only one hit. If the enemy team has any duplicates, their skills will also go on cooldown. It's a 4-turn cooldown. This will be useful for faction wars, for those Valkyrie, to stop them putting up their shields, and the other one with the man-eaters. So for faction wars it would be pretty good, but for arena, nobody really uses duplicate champions. And maybe for Void Tower, if it's anything like Summoner's War, where you have lots of revivers, it can be very useful as well. But yeah, not great. Better just to kill them. Attacks all enemies, then on his A3, 75% chance of removing 2 random buffs, okay. And 75% chance of decreasing all enemies' turn meters by 20%. Okay, that's good. And decreases enemy turn meter by 0.2% for every 1% of health lost. Okay, 0.2. It's like an extra 40% if you use this after he's just almost died. I'm not sure what way this passive is going to work. Prevents this champion's death and keeps him alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. I wonder if it's going to work like Rotus's skill, where if someone has a 2-hitter or even a 3-hitter like Gala Longbraids, she can actually kill Rotos with that skill. So if someone hits him with a 2-hitter, then it just kills him immediately, or if he just stays alive after that attack. If it's the latter, he just stays alive, that'll be cool. If it's more like Rotos, then any 2-hitter can almost kill him, unless he's very, very tanky. If the skill prevents his death, heals him by 10%. Okay, and gives him more turn meter, and puts a shield on him. If he's got a block heal debuff, he just dies. That's not very good at all. Yeah, if it's like a 2-hit attack can kill him, then that's not good. If it's more like just for that 3 hits or whatever, he still stays alive, then that's alright. Okay, next, Little Miss Annie, Void Legendary. I would like to see what the models look like, because these avatars are not winning me over. Alright, A1, Pretty Nails, attacks enemy 3 times. Each hit has 50% chance of placing a heal reduction. Okay, so it's good for Fire Knights. And good for killing this guy, especially if it works in a similar way to Rotos. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times on her A2. 50% increased attack buff on her. Okay. Oh, only if the target is under shield. Oh. Will ignore 25% of defense only if the target is under shield. Okay, not so good. If she kills the champion for 2 turns, or if she kills the champion, she gets perfect veil for 2 turns. It's very similar to Excruciator. Fills this champion's turn meter. Does she do anything special with the perfect veil? No. Okay, that's a bit lame. Fills the champion's turn meter by 30% if it does not kill the target. I think that's the same as Excruciator's A2. Yeah, if she doesn't get the kill, then she can boost her turn meter. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Unless her multipliers are high, it's not particularly good, because Kreela, the recent Fragment hero, she puts a 50% increased attack and 30% increased crit rate on all allies and attacks all enemies without any conditions. This is 1 enemy twice, and only does this other stuff if they've got a shield on. So it's only really useful in Arena, but nowhere else in the game, because none of the dungeons do the mobs have shields up straight away. Okay, played it. A3, attacks 1 enemy, ignores 25% of defense. Again, only if the target is higher defense than this champion. Okay. Decreases the target's max HP by 25% if the target is higher HP. Oh, okay. Won't repeat an attack a second time if the target is both higher defense and higher max HP than this champion. So you want to build her with lower defense and HP, just to get that extra turn. got a very big cooldown, so maybe it hits incredibly hard. If it hits really hard, then I guess you just have to build her like a glass cannon. But again, I don't know, I'm just not won over by these conditions. Because people already do this. Whisper does something like this. She's an epic void. And if the enemy's got higher HP, she puts increased attack on herself and then attacks. Okay, not great. Toys that don't die, so this is a passive. When revived, attacks the enemy that killed her with default skill. Okay, that's kind of cool. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 25% and puts a shield on her equal to 50% of her max HP. Wonder what HP she comes back with. Thing is, this play date would be good for areas where more for PvE combined with her passive, because if you're in faction wars where they all have higher HP and they probably all have higher defense, then it's going to be good if she comes back. But yeah, I'm not won over by that. But if she's going for glass cannon, then 50% of her max HP is not particularly good. Anyway, second passive, each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing turn meter by 5%. And 50% of max HP again. Oh, only if they're under heal reduction. If that was not under heal reduction, that would be better. Then on her A1, she would also decrease turn meter by 15%. Oh, it's only a 50% chance? Oh, that's lame. Especially for a legendary void. If this passive was just every hit was 100% 5%, that would be much better. Then for Fire Knights, she could decrease his turn meter by 15%. But it's not. And also heals her. Again, if your glass cannon is not great. Only when under heal reduction buffs. Okay, also not impressive. Next, Narma the Returned, so a legendary magic affinity hero. Attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of increasing the duration of 3 random debuffs. Okay, that's cool. Attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing decreased attack. Okay, that'd be good for... Sounds like it's good for clan boss. If you've got lots of poisons up, works in a similar way to Vizier for extending the debuffs. This is only 3. And she can place her own decreased attack. Okay, so she's bringing a lot to the table for clan boss. And she can also heal. That's cool. And the heal increases for each poison on the target. Okay, so if it was on clan boss and he had like 8 poisons, it's an extra 31% healing that you can put out. So if this had a good cooldown to maybe 3 turns, it'd be very good. A3 attacks one enemy, 75% chance of placing 3 strong poisons of her own and poison sensitivity. So I think she's only one of 2 characters in the game who can do that. So she can put up her own poisons, decrease attack, and extend them. So she seems to be very good then for clan boss. Next then, this guy looks like, what's this guy's name? From Hellboy, the sand guy, similar mask. So this is an epic. Attacks one enemy twice, each hit decreases the turn meter by 7.5. Only if they're under fear or true fear. Reduces the cooldown of the champion's passive skill by 1 turn if it kills. I think Armageddon uncommon, he decreases turn meter by 30% if it's a crit. Allure has 3 hits. Each one decreases turn meter by 25% if it's a crit. This guy only does 7.5%, and only if they're under fear or true fear. So this is going to be useless against any type of boss like Fire Knight or spiders. It would be better if this was just permanent, and even a chance of placing fear would be better. Okay, A2 attacks one enemy again. Has 75% chance of placing fear. Okay, that's pretty cool. Good for arena, I guess. Yeah, fear and decreased speed. Okay, good for arena. Has a 75% chance of placing a true fear debuff on 2 enemies if he kills someone. Okay, so if you're in arena and you just finish off an opponent, then you can put true fear on 2 enemies. One goes on the one with the lowest turn meter, one with the highest turn meter. Okay, yeah, that only sounds useful for arena, maybe dungeons. Putting true fear on 2. But only 2 enemies in dungeons is not great. Alright, last one. A3. Attacks one enemy. Only ignores 35% if they're under fear or defear. Yeah, unless these multipliers are incredibly high, or you have someone who can just pump out the fears on your team, this guy doesn't sound very useful at all. And for his ascended version, it's the same, but 35% ignore target's defense. That's not great. For Whisper, she's definitely one of my favorite. I think she's got one of the coolest skins. She's an epic void. If the enemy's got weaken, she ignores 100% of the target's defense on her A2. It's much better. Places a 30% increased speed and a revive on death. That's cool. Only if you kill them. So if this guy hits really hard, then it's kind of cool. I wonder if you need fear for that. And his passive fills this turn meter by 50% when an ally or when an enemy's HP drops below 20%. So I guess if you almost kill them, then it could speed up your chance to try to kill them. Maybe if this had a lower cooldown. But I mean, some of them can just, some rares even, if they kill an enemy, they can attack again. Yeah, I'm definitely not won over by that. Okay, this is a faction wars reward. So if you complete all faction wars 3 stars, you get this legendary void. She actually seems very good. So when her A1 attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of placing fear debuff for 1 turn. Much better already. And a 75% chance of increasing the duration of any poison sensitivity debuff. Did she do poison sensitivity herself? Oh yeah. Her A3. Attacks enemy champions whenever they place one of these debuffs on an ally. And attacks a number of times. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if you're in arena and your arbiter speed boosts and 3 people in your team get frozen, she can attack each of them. She can attack each enemy only once. Yeah, that seems like a much cooler skill. Alright, Siren's Wheel attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing decreased defense and weaken for 2 turns. So it seems kind of similar to Dracomor's 3rd skill, but she actually attacks all the enemies as well, much better. And also places strengthen and increased speed on all allies. Wow, it's a very powerful skill. And her 3rd skill attacks one enemy twice. The first hit has a 75% chance of placing poison sensitivity for 2 turns. The second, block buff and block cooldown. Wow, okay. I think poison sensitivity is only really useful for things like clan boss and maybe other dungeon bosses. Not so useful for arena, but most of these other skills seem very useful for arena. Okay, her passive denies enemy revive attempts. Wow, okay. This works even if the champion is dead. If this champion is alive, when an enemy revive is denied, revives all dead allies. Wow. So if all your team is dead and the enemy arbiter tries to revive, she cannot, and everybody on your team is brought back with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. It's definitely going to be an arena game changer. Grants an extra turn if there are no dead allies. Okay, so if everyone on your team is alive, then you just get a free go. If this champion is dead when an enemy is revive is denied, revives this champion. Wow, okay. She comes back to life. This skill will ignore block revive. What does that mean? I'm not quite sure. If someone is block revived on your team, they still come back? That can't be right. It's got a very big cooldown though. I wonder if any of these other skills, like who was it? The first guy? Yeah, I wonder if he just does dead stop, then she cannot use her passive anymore. It would really nullify the threat. Aura, 100% resist. Okay, it's very big. It would definitely take a lot more accuracy then if she was the leader. I think the next highest that I can think of is Raz and Scarhide. He's got 80. What else is there? New avatars, wow. They will appear at random in a single slot and remain. Oh, this is only tag arena. They look shit. First one's okay. This one, I'm not sure who do you think their player base is. Yeah, okay. Alright, well, I will wrap that up there then. Okay, well, that about wraps up this video. It definitely lasted a lot longer than I expected. Perhaps a bit too much contemplation of how these new heroes or new champions are actually going to play out in the game. Or maybe just a bit too much umming and ahhing. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you're brand new, you should definitely pull in the 2x event. I will definitely pull some of my shards on this account. And for my alt account, my free-to-play account, I will be pulling everything and maybe even using some of the gems as well in the hopes of getting someone good. Alright, thanks. Goodbye.